Okay, welcome to the Real Estate Zone. I'm here with Lisa Bathurst. Lisa is a consultant in the UK. She's a specialist in UK property investment all around the UK. And first of all, Lisa, I think thanks for the opportunity to chat to you again.
Thanks to you, Neil.
Tell us first of all a little bit about Hurst and Wills, the UK company that you own. What do you do?
So Hurst and Wills, we are an independent international property company. So we help South African investors invest offshore. The difference that we can offer is that we're independent. So we work with several developers. We're not selling our own stock, and so we're really working for the buyer. Very interested to understand the objectives of our clients and then help them find the right product offshore.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about, first of all, the advantages of investing in the UK. I know it's the number one destination, certainly as far as South African investors are concerned, for a number of years now. And maybe you want to share why.
So I think South Africans have always had a nice affiliation with the UK, and in fact when South Africans choose to invest in property offshore, nearly 40% of them do choose the UK. I think that's because they spend time there, they understand the UK, property law is quite similar, everything's in English, and it's quite a regulated and stable society and economy, and so it's quite a straightforward process that South Africans can understand.
Okay, so what are the sort of the pitfalls that investors have got to, and also on the other side, let's talk about the pros and the cons of investing in the UK.
Okay, I would say, look, the main pitfall is choosing the wrong property or choosing the wrong developer. I've had a lot of clients that that have come to us having been stoned, or they bought schemes online. Unfortunately, they've been ripped off with things that actually hadn't been built. And so I think it's really important to get the right advice and do your research, because there's a lot of people, and more on a daily basis, I'm seeing in my inbox, there's lots of mailers and things coming through. People are overselling projects with very unrealistic yields. So I think it's really important to do your research. That's the main pitfall. Other than that, it's a great market to invest in as long as you know what you're doing.
So on the opposite side, give us some of the pros of investing in the UK market.
Look, it's a stable market. Historically, over the last 30 years, it's outperformed gilts, stocks, bonds, the residential property market in the UK. So there's a real reason to put your money there. The other obvious one is diversification. One of the biggest rules in the book is to diversify your portfolio, and of course a rand hedge. With our volatile rand and political system here, I think it's really important to just hedge your bets a little bit. Have some here, have some there, and the UK offers a great destination.
Great. Now you probably get this question a lot. The whole Brexit, because the world is in, it doesn't matter, it's not in the UK, it's in South Africa, it's all around the world.
Yeah.
So maybe, give us some thoughts on Brexit, and will it affect your investments and all that kind of stuff. What kind of effect could it possibly have?
Look, it's a good question and a valid concern, and it is something that I'm getting asked every day now. I mean,
Sure.
You only have to put on the news, and it's 24/7. I think we've become obsessed with it. But I think what people need to remember is that it's similar to what happened in the recession. In 2007, 2008, I was investing all over the UK, and it was the best time because there's so much opportunity when there's uncertainty.
Sure.
And I think the other thing to remember is we're talking about Britain. Britain is extremely resilient, and in fact, the pound has gained, in the last few days, despite all of this that's going on with Theresa May. So I think the reality is, over the course of your investment, given that property should be 10-year, looking at a 10-year outlook, it's going to be a little blip. So what I would say is, whilst there's opportunities there, and people are waiting, they're holding off on making investments, which I think is the worst thing, because property prices in certain parts of the UK and the hotspots that we work in are still going up month on month. And we're all sitting, waiting to make the investment. By the time we do, the chances are the pound has strengthened, like it has done over the last few days. It means that we've got to spend more rands to get in, and we're missing out on growth. So my advice would be to not worry too much about that. Don't get too caught up in the hype, and stick to a stable market, which is the UK.
Right. So let's unpack the UK markets a little bit, because obviously somebody's looking at the UK. I mean, most people traditionally invested in London, but obviously there are other nodes as well. Do you want to maybe just share some with that for the audience?
Yeah, sure. I think London traditionally has been the go-to for South Africans. A lot of South Africans, have family and friends that are still there, mostly in southwest London. But it has become very expensive, and growth has slowed down there, that's for sure. The yield yields are much lower. You struggle to get 2-3% in London at the moment. So going to other areas, we're all familiar probably with what's happening with the Northern Powerhouse. It's been an initiative that's been in place the last few years. It's part of a grand 15 to 20 year master plan. So going to northern cities, Manchester's my favourite one. I think that's an investment for this decade for sure. It continues to go up and I don't see anything changing there. We're also, there's other cities that are connected to the Northern Powerhouse, that received 13 billion in investment, and that's just going to keep going for the next few years. So I would be looking at putting my money up north, and then because I think we're going to see a gap close between the north and the south, because that's certainly government initiatives are supporting that, and the foreign investment, that's where it's all, the money's going for now. So yeah. I would be getting in on that.
So do you want to share a little bit about on pricing on those areas? Because I would assume that up north we're looking at better priced properties, specifically for South Africans at 18, 19 to 1 to the pound to the rand. So you want to maybe talk about some price points there?
Sure. I mean, to add some context, I think it's important to understand that investing in, say, a 2-bedroom apartment in London, in a decent area that's well connected, you're looking at over £500,000, £600,000. For a third of that, you can get a nice apartment in Manchester. Right. So you can look to get 2 or 3 very premium, walking distance to the heart of the city, close to all the connections. So that's certainly something to think about, and that the returns are 3 times higher. We also are quite involved with the student property market. It's a trickier market. You need to know what you're doing, but you're looking at investments from 1.2 million. Your returns net 7.5%. They're guaranteed for up to 5 years. So you're getting nearly 40% of your investment back guaranteed. So that for me is a no-brainer and a great price point for our South African clients.
Great. So just maybe you want to just share with the audience over there the next step, because they want to reach out to you. You've convinced me now I want to go into the UK. What is the next step?
Well, do your research. Of course, give us a call. I'd be delighted to talk you through any concerns, talk through your objectives and point you in the right direction. So you can get in touch with us online, pick up the phone, or come in for a coffee and have a chat.
Excellent. And so if people want to get hold of you, maybe you just wanted to share your website and where they can get some more information.
Sure. So we're at www.hurstandwills.com. You can reach me at lisa@hurstandwills.com. You can also give us a call. All the details are on the website. We've got an office at the waterfront, so pop in and we'll have a chat through things.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you. Thanks.